Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we're going to be talking about this tweet and just about Perkz and the Cloud9 roster in general. Just a couple of hours ago, earlier today, I guess this morning at this point, Perkz tweeted out, okay, I've decided I'm going to go the whole LCS opening tournament without dying. And that got me thinking a couple of different things. One, we're so close to the LCS starting. This offseason has been so long. It's been a couple of months at this point. It's been so long since we've gotten to see competitive League of Legends ever since the end of Worlds. And now the LCS is headed into one of its most anticipated seasons ever. So many huge roster changes, so many new awesome rosters, new players coming over to the LCS, teams that look so good, players that are so hyped up and going to look so good. We're getting super close to that. But it also got me thinking about how hard Perkz is going to mid-diff so many people in the LCS. Like, I was thinking about just how good Perkz was at mid previously when he used to play. And then also thinking about how potentially historically weak mid lane is going to be in North America this year. It's always a weak position, but this year with a lot of teams going young, a lot of teams switching stuff up, it could be extra bad. So that's what I want to talk about in this video today. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you're not already subscribed, definitely click that subscribe button really quick. It's fast, it's free, it's easy, it helps you guys stay up to date on all my latest content, and I would appreciate it a ton. Maybe we can hit 5,500 subscribers before the end of the year. If not, that's going to be our goal for 2021 for sure. Also, click that like button really quick if you enjoy my content, if you enjoy my videos, because it does help me out with the algorithm a ton, so I'd appreciate that as well. But here we go, talking about Perkz. And again, he is talking about potentially trying to go deathless in the lock-in tournament, which starts January 15th. We are like 17 days away from that. Teams, it seems like, started scrims either yesterday or today. They're off and running. They're off to the races. Teams are starting to, form synergies, form exactly what's going on. I don't know if Perkz is in North America specifically yet, but I know some of the other guys are. I know TSM started scrimming today, I believe. So teams are ready to go. They're ready for this 2021 season. Obviously, some of the replies are pretty funny. Like, we have this one: official sources call this bullshit, of Perkz with his response. And then a lot of people responding. I really like this response from Ender too. He said, oh, C9 benched you already? And I thought that was really funny. A lot of funny replies. But again, when we take a look at the mid laners that Perkz is going to be going up against in this lock-in tournament, we can run through the .esports has kind of the article breaking down all the new rosters for the LCS headed into 2021. The green screen went crazy there for a second. Hopefully it stays under control. But we can see the different guys he's going to be going up against in this lock-in tournament. Again, there's going to be a draft that decides the groups, and it's going to decide what teams you play against in the lock-in tournament and stuff like that. And that draft has not happened yet, so we don't know specifically who he's going to be matched up against. But at one point or another, he's going to be matched up against 4 of these teams in his groups and then having to play through the play-in stage. And I assume Cloud9 is going to make it pretty far, so I think he's going to be playing up against a lot of these guys. But obviously, first with the 100 Thieves, we have Demonte. I don't think that's going to be pretty. Demonte is another one of these guys who doesn't really play for lane. He plays that facilitative style of roaming mid, where he's going to be running around trying to help out his team, and he has a chance to do so. His top laner, huge carry, and someday FBI in the bot lane, huge carry. They're going to have a strong 2v2 with Demonte and Closer, but I think Cloud9 is definitely going to be stronger with Perkz and Blabber. But just straight up in lane, Perkz is going to be coming out with a huge leads pretty consistently against Demonte. So that might be a little bit rough. Then obviously we have Cloud9. We have CLG with Belter, a guy who is notoriously very consistent, but again, not a guy who's going to be a huge lane bully, not a guy who's going to be consistently coming out with CS leads in lane, solo kills, not that type of player. This is a guy that Perkz is really going to eat up, and that's two of the more solid mid laners in North America in Demonte and Belter. Then we get into guys like solely go for Dignitas. That's going to be disgusting. Throwing a guy with that much inexperience up against a guy like Perkz, that's going to be rough. Jizuke obviously knows a lot about Perkz. He might be able to stand more of a chance against Perkz than some of these other people. Jizuke, when he's on, can really be a very high caliber mid laner. But the problem is last year he was not on very much. I think Evil Geniuses might be a little bit of a weaker team too. And again, Perkz is clearly better than Jizuke, but Jizuke does have the talent to, on his best day, with the right pick, with the right setup, he can stand toe-to-toe with Perkz, and this is another very crazy guy who could honestly give Perkz an interesting challenge. And then we get into just more young guys. Palafox, he is so hyped up. People are so excited for him, but he's so inexperienced. It's going to be his first time really in the LCS, getting a chance to start, and that's not going to be good for him. Golden Guardians, we have a Blaze Olive, we have Insanity, 2 more new guys. Like the LCS went so young this year. There's such almost more than ever. I can't say that for sure, but like something's telling me almost more than ever that there's a big divide between the teams who are trying to win right now, your Team Liquids, your TSMs, your Cloud9s, and the bottom, where you have teams just completely rebuilding, Immortals, Golden Guardians, Dignitas, where you have super, super young players. They are really trying to push this youth movement into North America, which is what people have been asking for a long time. So it is exciting in a lot of ways, but man, it is going to make for some uneven matchups, some uneven games, and it's this perfect just storm of Cloud9 getting an amazing player in Perkz, one of the best mid laners in the world. Like, Bjergsen has been clapping up North America for so long now, and he's looked like an absolute beast. Pretty much one of the best, if not the best mid laners in the LCS every single split for years and years and years now. And I know a lot of people would consider Perkz a better mid laner than even Bjergsen. So he's just going to take this to another level. He is going to be very, very tough. And he's also a guy who plays super crazy aggressive, can dominate lanes, can go for huge solo kill numbers, can get huge CSD discrepancies. He just absolutely tries to play that lane kingdom hard carry style. And it's a good time to be playing that kind of style for a lot of these teams, because again, when you have a ton of young guys like Palafox, Blaze Olive, Insanity, who they're still trying to find their footing in North America. They're still trying to find even their playstyle or how they're going to adapt to being a pro and all that stuff, trying to build synergy with their teammates and stuff like that, even, and just build their own confidence in champ pool and all of that stuff. And Perkz, who obviously is an established veteran, as seasoned as they come, it's just going to come mowing through them. Then we get to the two big guys in Jensen and Power of Evil, the guys who North America needs to be able to stand up to Perkz. I mean, it is going to be an awesome test for Jensen and Power of Evil to get to play against a guy like Perkz more often, but also a good challenge for Perkz to get to play against some other quality mid laners as well, because again, if we want our teams and players to do well at international tournaments, we want them to continue to get better and succeed and stuff, we need the teams and players and everybody to push each other. So if our mid lane talent is so lackluster that Perkz just kind of stagnates in North America or can't even get better, that's not going to be good for him. That's not going to be good for Cloud9. So we do really need Jensen and Power of Evil to really stand up and have a good split and have a good year and really be strong and really learn from playing against Perkz, and Perkz learn from playing against them and build each other up. So yes, during the season, during the lock-in tournament, during spring split, they're going to be rivals and they're going to be going head to head and they're going to be going at each other. But at the end of the day, when we're all going to Worlds, we want the West to succeed. We want to see our teams doing well. We want to see the LCS represented well on the international stage. So we want these guys to all do well. If Liquid is a better team, that is good for Cloud9 and Perkz. If TSM is a better team, that is good for Cloud9 and good for Perkz. But again, do I think Perkz is going to go deathless in the lock-in tournament? No, absolutely not. And if anything, he's even putting a target on his back where, people are going to be coming after him. I know some people were tweeting at like Jose Dioto, like, oh, here comes a level 2 gank. Like, Perkz is going to have to be ready. But obviously he knows that. He's a trash talker. Another reason I love this tweet is because of the trash talk aspect. He's getting people hyped up for the season. He is getting people talking. If you guys have followed G2 at all in the past few years, they are always on Twitter. They always have something to say. And sometimes it blows up in their face. And when it does, that is still good for the league. That still gets people talking. That still gets people excited because people love it when you talk trash and it works out. And that's a great way to build up your brand and your fan base and your Twitter followers and stuff. But when you talk trash and it blows up, that also makes for great engagement. That gets people talking. That gets people excited. People are going to tune in to see if Perkz can go deathless, and they're going to tune in to see if somebody can take him down. Again, I don't think he's going to go deathless. That's a crazy goal. This tournament is going to be a really, really long tournament. Honestly, you play the group stage where you play 4 games, and then it's a best of 3, then a best of 5, then a best of 5. So what is that, like 17 games? If every series goes as long as possible, but it's like a minimum of 8-12 games. So yeah, I mean, you're not going deathless over 12 games. But I do think he could have a ton of solo kills, some huge lane differences, and he could even potentially just carry Cloud9 to a title right off the bat, which would be a great start for him in North America, a great start for that organization. And yeah, they're going to have a lot to play for. It's going to be really, really interesting and fun to see at the beginning. And again, we love all this trash talk. We lost Double Lift. We're losing some of the big names in the LCS community and the LCS world. So we need to get more people excited, more people talking, building up the LCS, building up the hype. Because again, we are just like a little bit more than 2 weeks away from getting kicked off, from getting started. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see. The LCS mid lane talent has always been lackluster. This year, it might even be weaker than like ever before. and that is the perfect storm for Perkz to just come in, start wiping people out, and obviously his goal is to go deathless in the lock-in tournament. It'll be interesting to see just what him and Cloud9 and the rest of the LCS are able to do. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you think Perkz is going to come in and dominate the LCS? Do you think somebody's going to be able to stand up to him? Maybe. He's just not even that good. You know, every once in a while you get a player who's just kind of trying to come over and collect a check and they don't work out and they're never as good as advertised. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions, whatever those may be. Subscribe, stay updated on my latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.